Hello, hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome, everybody, to the Boutique CEO. I'm Christine Williams. I am so excited to be here with you. So we are starting a little bit late today. I was actually on a brand panel helping entrepreneurs talk about building and growing a brand, and it went over. So here I am. I'm so excited to be here with you, and I definitely didn't want to not come on live with you guys today because this is something that's super important. We're talking about the 10 ways to build belief. So when we think about building belief, belief is super important because if you can't build belief with your ideal client, they can't become buyers, right? The truth is, strangers don't become buyers, believers become buyers. And so if we want people to work with us at some point in time on their client journey, we have to know how to actually build belief and go up the ladder of belief. So I talked last week about the ladder of belief and kind of stage zero is being enrolled in ourselves. So if you missed that, definitely go back and grab that episode. You can find it on Substack. It's also inside the Facebook group and it is on my YouTube channel. So come say hello because today we are diving into the first two steps on the ladder of belief. And this is how you are going to be walking somebody up the ladder of belief so that they can actually believe that the transformation that they desire, is actually possible in the world and it's possible for them. If they do not believe that the transformation that they are looking for, that you say that you can help them with, is possible, they cannot become a buyer. And if they don't believe that is possible for them, they can't become a buyer either. So we're going to dive in today on 10 ways that you can actually help people move up the ladder. Step one, their transformation is actually possible and it's actually possible for them. So remember, when belief is low, people stay stuck. They tend to procrastinate, they overthink, they remain where they are, not because they don't actually want change, but they can't yet see themselves experiencing it, right? So maybe they believe that the transformation is out there for somebody, but they don't yet see themselves having the experience it yet. So our job here is not necessarily to pressure somebody into buying. It's to lovingly build belief so that they can actually see, again, their transformation is possible and it's possible for them. So one way that we can do that is actually sharing transformational stories. On the panel that I was just on called Brand Commons, we were actually talking about this. This was actually one of the things that I highly recommended as a quick win, is that stories create possibility for people. When people hear stories of real women or men who either overcame obstacles, created results, transformed their lives, their brains begin to think and start seeing what's possible for them too. So one of the things that you can start doing to help people move up the ladder of beliefs is to start sharing client wins. You could share personal stories that you've gone through too as well. I've had so many people reach out to me just by sharing a personal story of, hey, I get what it was like to start over again in my late 40s. Like I was married for 17 years, homeschooled my three boys. I had to start over again. So in order for somebody to believe that they can build a six-figure business, me sharing that story of, look, I get it. I started over with $25 on my bank account and this is what I've been able to do now. So personal stories can really create that connection and that belief for somebody. Small victories also, are your clients creating some small wins? Are there some breakthrough moments that they've had? Everyday transformations that you might actually be sharing. So one of the things that I love to do is, instead of like feeling like I need to create, an entire 90 days worth of content, I can actually share like, hey, this is what's going on behind the scenes today, like picking one thing out of 5 things that I might be going on that might be relatable, right? And stories actually move people again from consuming information, right? Just seeing the information is actually believing that it's possible. So that's one. We want to create stories, share transformational stories. Number two, we want to become evidence ourselves. So remember, people need to see, like I mentioned, that the transformation is possible. you are living proof. So some of the things that you can begin to share is where did you actually start? What were some of the things that you struggled with? What changed? What feels different for you now? Are there any lessons that you've learned along the way? This is not about being perfect. This is not saying that you've got it all figured out. You simply just need to be a few steps ahead and willing to show people what's actually possible. So become evidence for yourself, share those specific things. That is going to, again, share where were you when you started? What were some of the things you struggled with? Right? One of the things that I struggled with is that I had the certifications, but I absolutely had no idea how to build a business. I didn't even know where to start. Like, ideal client, what the heck is that? Right? What changed was that I began to learn and I began to start asking questions. And I actually, hired a coach to help me walk through this because I couldn't read the label when I'm inside the bottle, right? I needed somebody else's brain and heart and eyeballs with me to help me walk through that. So share evidence of how you've done it and what's possible for you now. Number three, paint the possibility. So people, many people can't imagine a different future because they've never actually seen it, right? So help them see it. Help them see it. I think about this as like, it's a painting. What would their life look like if this problem was solved for them? How might they feel? What might be different? And how might that impact their life, their relationships, their business, the way that they feel about themselves? Um, who would they actually become? And when you talk about this in your content or whether you're sharing a little tip, this is actually helping people share what's possible. And remember that people buy possibility long before they're buying programs, right? Nobody wakes up saying, I can't wait to buy a program today. They actually wake up looking for something that is different that they would like to see as possible for them. So paint that possibility picture for them. Number four, normalize their struggles. When people think that they are the only one and they're like this unicorn that, nothing's ever going to work for them, they can't actually move up the ladder of belief. So it's so important that you're able to share with them that they're not the only one, they're not behind, nothing is wrong with them, and actually normalize the experience because it's so important that we remove shame and we begin to create safety because this is one of the things that people that are going to help create the belief, right? Safety creates belief. If people don't feel safe, they're not actually going to believe that whatever it is that they want, the solution that they want is possible and it's possible for them. Okay, number five, we're going to talk about teaching the process. So transformation feels absolutely impossible when it seems mysterious, right? So break it down. This is where your signature system, your signature framework, your signature process is really going to be important. So you guys have mine. This is my process, the Soulful Abundance System, right? The Boutique CEO powered by the Soulful Abundance System. This is a process. This is steps. It's a framework. It's a pathway. And when you are sharing your process, people begin to trust and to see that they can understand that there's a series of steps that they're going to go through, which gives them clarity. And clarity helps to create belief as well, right? Instead of just saying, hey, come work with me because I'm an amazing coach, you can say, actually, I have a signature framework and process that I take my clients through. This is what it is. So you can teach the process so that they gain understanding and clarity, and that begins to move them from, oh, I see now. I see how this could be possible for other people, and I'm actually understanding how this might look like for me too. Number six, show small wins. People do not need perfect, right? They don't need proof that they can absolutely achieve everything. They need proof that they can achieve something. So I want you to think about this as how can you help them to create small shifts, tiny actions, little wins, right? Epiphanies, aha, insights, new awarenesses, first steps. Small wins begin to create momentum, and momentum begins to create belief, right? So when somebody feels like they're winning, not that they've solved the whole thing, but they were able to actually complete and implement a step, that actually creates belief that the transformation, the direction that they're going is actually possible and possible for them. Number seven, help them borrow your belief. Okay. So sometimes our clients don't really believe in themselves yet, right? They're like, well, I don't know, maybe when this happens and this happens, and when the moon's not in Mercury retrograde or all the stars are aligned, right? Totally okay, right? You can believe for them. So this is important because people are not going to want to work with you if they can't borrow your belief. So say things like, I see this in you. I know this is possible. I've seen women just like you, or men, if you're working with men, create results like this. I believe that you can do this. This allows you to become the bridge until they begin to start to develop their own belief, right? So remember, we're not taking them up the ladder of belief in one big step. We're actually taking these smaller steps to help them, hear you say, this is absolutely possible in the world. Here's why. And I see this in you, and I think that this is possible for you too. And here's why. So help them borrow your belief in them. Number 8, provide proximity to what's possible for them. So belief only grows in the right rooms. Belief does not come from more information. People need to be around others who are also creating the results that they desire. This is one of the reasons why I'm such a big fan of having a community hub. So when you are creating communities, when you're creating live trainings like I'm doing here with you, when you are in networking rooms or running a master class, or even if you're running a group program, the proximity to others that are believing in their success actually helps expand what they believe is possible as well. So remember, the rooms that you enter and that you create for others actually help to shape the beliefs that they're then able to see and carry. Number 9, reflect their strength back to them. Oh my gosh, you guys, we as women, we so underestimate ourselves, right? Our job is not necessarily to convince or drag anybody across the finish line or close the deal or get the sale. Our job is to remind people of their wisdom, of the experience that they've had, of their resilience, of their growth, of their progress, right? People often need someone else to see their strength and to celebrate them even before they can see it themselves, right? So one of the things that I love to do in my community is we actually cheer each other on. So if somebody shares a win, I like to share that and reflect their strength back to them, that what they've done is that they've grown, or reflect back, how far that they've come, or cheer them on when they've taken one small action step and they've created that momentum. And then number 10, this is our final one for today, is actually offer hope, but do it honestly, right? Don't promise perfection, right? You don't promise that they're going to lose the 50 pounds in a week, right? Don't promise that, they're going to sleep through the night after, one night, right? It requires work. It does require effort, right? Transformation, in order for somebody to change, means that they have to be willing to actually implement the change. So instead of promising everything's going to be perfect, promise possibility. This was, you can say things like, this is going to require some work. There will be challenges. You may need support, right? And it's absolutely possible. So we want to give people hope, but we want to give people hope that's grounded in truth, because when you are sharing hope that's grounded in truth, that creates trust. And trust creates belief, and belief does what? It actually creates action for them, and action then changes lives. So one of the things that I share with my clients is that one of the types of content that we share is hope, right? And sharing some specific wins that will say, yeah, when my client did this, right, showing that it actually required some work on their part, this is what was possible. So you're still being very, very real and true about what's possible, but you're also sharing that someone else can do this, which is also adding a couple of these previous spots of showing that transformation is possible, sharing wins, and showing that other clients can do this too. So remember, people don't buy from you because they understand, right? They actually buy because they believe. So believers are buyers. And as a coach or service provider or holistic professional, Your job is not only to teach. Yes, I'm here, I'm teaching with you, but hopefully you can also see that building a real six-figure boutique business is actually possible for you too. And if you go to my website, you'll see some client testimonials. If you're hanging out here in the Facebook group, you'll also share some wins and see some client wins creating that, right? And you will see a lot of the different types of content that I'm sharing that is actually walking people up from step one, which is I believe that the transformation is possible in the world, to I see this, I'm understanding it, it's clarity. It's more than just understanding, though. I am now starting to believe that it's possible for me too. Okay, so again, the next step can absolutely change everything for you. So I want you to think about which one of these 10 do you naturally use on repeat, right? Which one of these 10s do you feel that you could actually implement with like the next 24 hours, right? I want to help you create a win. So I just shared information with you. I shared what it could look like. I gave you some examples of what you could do. Now you actually get to implement to create your own win. How might you be able to build more belief in your content this week? And where can you actually create more opportunities for people to experience what's possible? So, again, remember, relationships build trust, trust builds belief, and belief is what is actually creating the clients. Not just the posting, but actually the connecting with other people, the sharing the stories, the helping people see that transformation is possible in the world and it's possible in the world for them. All right, my friends, next week we are going to be moving up to I believe it's possible in the world for me. And the next one that we're going to add on is step 3, and that is possible for me now. And step 4, which is with your help. So be sure to come back next Tuesday. If you are watching this on the Facebook group, be sure to go into the guide section and you can find the Boutique CEO where we've got all of these, the ladder of beliefs that we're talking about. If you are watching this on Substack, you can absolutely find that inside of my Substack channel. And if you are watching this on YouTube, it will be there for you as well. And if you're listening on the podcast, I'm so, so glad that you're here. If this is resonating for you and you want to learn more about the ladder of beliefs, I want to encourage you to join me inside of the 6-week soulful enrollment activation, where I'm going to be teaching my clients how to take their people, their audience, the people that are in their world, how to take them through the ladder of beliefs so that they can make more soulful sales and soulful exchanges. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you double click in the description. If you're looking at the podcast, be sure to check the podcast notes so that you can get the details and take a peek at the 6-week soulful enrollment activation, because it really doesn't have to be hard. Sales don't have to be salesy or slimy. They don't have to be hard at all. You can actually do this in a really simple, natural, authentic way, and enrollments then become fun. But we do have to know how to actually move people from stranger to believer to buyer. And that's what the 6-week soulful enrollment activation is going to do for you. All right, my friend, I will see you next week. And be sure to say hello. Come say hello to me. I would love to see you. All right, my friends, you have an amazing day, and I will see you next time.